Well, we've been hearing anecdotally from a lot of people that people were changing their priorities around their top objective and from a financial point of view. So we went out and surveyed over 2,200 people throughout the country to find out really where their priorities are now. Well, surprisingly, 47% of the respondents said their top goal was saving for retirement, which is an impressive number and I think shows that people are trying to be very financially responsible. That contrasts with only 17% of the people said their top priority was owning their own home. So a pretty big shift from where we think the historical numbers would have been. Much more focus on retirement than solely on home ownership. That was a big number. A 30-point difference between the first and the second answer is a pretty big spread. I thought another number that was very interesting in there, that from a financial goal point of view, only 5% said early retirement was their priority. So it seems people are going to be working longer and making sure that they're as set as they can be for retirement. That's a pretty big shift.
Did you see any interesting disparities between the way that women felt about some of the questions versus men, or regional differences that came out in the survey?
Well, we saw some difference between men and women in the desire to save for retirement. Actually, 49% of the women said that was a top priority versus only 46% of the men. And also in housing, 19% of the women said that was a top priority versus only 16% for the men. So in general, the women were showing a bit more of a conservative attitude. Also, another question we asked was, do you think you're achieving the American dream? And only 57% said they were. But interestingly, 63% of the men felt they were, and only 54% of the women. So some pretty noticeable shifts there. The men, once again, showing, as in many polls, they tend to be a little more optimistic. Well, I think it's very important to know that people are putting their own financial house as a priority. They're actually paying attention to retirement. They're paying attention to savings. They're paying attention to debt management. So the strong optimism in a long bull economy, I think, has been replaced by some fiscal conservative approaches within families, and that they're really paying attention to where they're going to be 5 years from now, and they're trying to figure out how to take actions to put themselves in a better position.